Another quick question on Jacob. Do you have an ideal spot that you envision him playing at? I know you're cross-training everybody, but do you see him at a certain spot in your particular defense? And, you know, a guy coming out of LSU, those guys usually come out pretty ready to play some NFL football. So my question to you is, does he have a legit shot to come in here and grab one of those starting jobs?
I think right now, first of all, it is an open competition. All our guys have a chance. I mean, it's open. That's the good part about this room, and they know it. You know, BJ Goodson signed with us because he wanted a chance to compete, you know, and be able to do that. And you got Max, Sione, and Jacob, and the other guys. Don't be mad at me, other guys, for not naming everybody at the moment, okay? But it's open, and that's what's exciting. So that's one, and then two is the guys that play. I don't want to get too much to positions or scheme or anything like that, just because we're still going to figure it out. We're building it, and the guy named the Mike linebacker just ends up in the middle of the field more than the others. Where the other guys on the edges will play a little bit more in space and maybe pressure a little more. That's really the only difference. Jacob has the skill set for all of those, and that was what we wanted. We wanted football intelligence, we wanted length and speed, and that he has those. So what I mean by length is how well you're able to separate from blockers and things like that, which he's done. And he did that pretty well at LSU. Being only 21 and coming out early, he still has some things, and he's even gotten better at that in the offseason, that he can do on shedding blocks and making plays. But he was highly productive. Leading that team in tackles is a big deal. So he can really, his skill set really fits for any of the spots.
That is Jason Tarver, the head of the linebacking corps. You know, it's interesting. You get the feeling that Tarver's saying, all right, you loaded up on running backs, you loaded up on tight ends. What about me? All right, you're not going to give me anybody? I'll figure out a way to make it work, and then maybe you'll reward me with some better players next year. You get that feeling at all?
You know what? I didn't really get that feeling from him. He sounded pretty excited about the guys that he has. Now, once again, he hasn't seen them out on the field yet. He doesn't really have a whole lot to compare it to. He doesn't have much film on Sione Takitaki yet. All he has on Jacob Phillips is his college film. So there's just not a lot of body of work there in terms of NFL starts across the board for this whole entire linebacking corps. But he sounds pretty excited to sort of mold these guys and shape them into what he wants them to do. I was very impressed with Jason Tarver yesterday. It was a really cool interview that we had with him.
Well, you know,
has been
you don't
with
hear
all these coaches.
You don't hear too much about this guy, Jacob Phillips, but he might be a guy that could surprise you. He's 6'3", 229. He missed 17 tackles and 184 attempts last year, and the last two seasons at LSU, and he led the SEC with tackles, 113 last year. It's a guy we really haven't heard that much about.
No, we really haven't heard that much about him. But I will tell you what, as I mentioned in my question there to Jason Tarver, these LSU players have a way of coming into the NFL and making some noise as rookies. A lot of them come in, they start, they're kind of ready to play. They've played at such a high level of competition. And when you look at what he's done, he did lead the SEC and the Tigers with 113 tackles last year on a championship team. That says something. The year before that, he was second on the team in tackles. So there's a consistency there. It means that he's played a lot of pretty high-level football for a 21-year-old, and I think he's going to give some of these other guys a run for their money in the linebacker competition.
Well, I think